They should use Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain does not have a TP, which is level 7, level 4. Scream of Pain, no points yet. But they were diving tier 1 tower. Should be the one ping in the...
There seems to be a very strong-headed approach here from no one. He knows that the TA has having a very good game. CCNC clearing out these creep waves. The Scream build for me kind of indicates that you want to stay in lane, right? You want to spam out waves, you want to stay in lane, get that farm. No level in Sonic Wave means you're not really looking for kills or pickoffs right now. No one, maybe a chip on his shoulder with CCNC doing so well. Wants to turn the tables somewhat.
Pasha is so far ahead, level 9. Bass drums already, wants to go for Hands of Midas, which is a good choice in my opinion. Because of Chant creeps, you can take 2 actually, one with Chant, one with Midas.
CCNC, this is uphill, they still get the kill. 3-3 rotated in. Sent back by the Chen here, and it looks like he'll be fine. Oh, whoa, the Thunderstrike does actually kill him off. Close. Level 2 with a send back there, not enough.
What if Solo gets another MVP of this turn?
Double Mercedes?
Yeah, double Mercedes.
They just give him a factory. Say, we're spending enough giving you these cars, you know, 3 times a year or whatever it is here. Just take an entire delivery line.
Worthy tribute.
Nyx is so poor, man. Sitting on power threads and magic bomb. Queen of Pain. She has an ulti ready. Gonna need to flop it.
One charge from Plycat. Not used. Oh, that's Ramses.
Yeah, you can't use Ramses.
One charge
charges
on the DK.
DK. Yeah,
it's an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's a bug.
Oh, dearie me. Illuminate to the low ground. Not really what Zai was looking for. Yeah, down. VP coming out and making some decent headway here, finding a couple of core pickoffs. No one into this game. The double damage rune up. Himself. Double null treads. Moving into that Lincoln sphere. Doesn't look like he's got a veil or anything queued up just yet.
They don't have any magic damage besides Disruptor ulti, so it's pretty pointless for Veil, and the only way they can kill her is with Dragonite stun or Beastmaster ulti. He is a natural choice.
PPD, speaking of Disruptor ulti, tanks it with his creeps, kills off poor little Disruptor. Will lose a couple of trolls there, but brings his Centaur back to him. Plycat, what are we looking at now? Drums himself on that Dragon Knight.
Yeah, drums seems to be the most popular item these days. You can build it on any hero.
Any role, any hero.
Yeah, any time. 5th item drum. I didn't see that, but probably be a garbage. Can you actually still recharge by purchasing the recipe?
As far as I know, that
I don't think I've ever seen someone do that.
Me neither. And it happened when the item kind of was relatively new. You need to see like gyrocopters rebuy it from time to time. But it's been a long while since then as the glimpse back onto Plycat should secure a kill here, but with the rotations from Optic coming in, they might be able to turn this around. The blinding light into the Illuminate is good. Plycat kept alive with the Hand of God, and Queen of Pain will drop. Ramsey is chased down now by the Beastmaster, but with lacking control, will not be able to secure any additional kills. Now CNC trapped in the river, snared. And into the shots from up high. Ramses rages, moves on forward, but Chen coming in with a double centaur. Looking for the stop with a send back on the TA will get her to Fountain. Now Pasha, he's hungry, thirsty for blood. He wants to kill someone, anyone, just give me a kill. Glimpse there on the PvD, drags him to the river, but deep in. Pasha taken out of the game with quick rotations in. Optic are cruising in this game.
Yeah, they can actually go for tier 2 tower as well. DK still has the 4:47 seconds. I love this part. And you can see how many seconds.
The sad thing is, they still haven't fixed that thing where all of the observers. We still have the light of heaven. So VP, kind of similar to what we saw in our first best of 1, right, with Team Effects, the Naga Disruptor combos. We are yet to see Song into Static Storm, but that's ready now. They're going to smoke and look to utilize this. The Sonic Wave is also up. Lifestealer continue farming bottom lane with the Radiance queued up as expected. He will be going
Radiant's bottom
that build. Feels he's created enough space for himself to be able to warrant going into the Radiance. He's not that far behind net worth wise, you know, 13, 1400, 14 minutes. Too bad Way to catch up as the TA has a full blink. Heading into that Deso now. 3-3 with a Necro 1.
Can you have half of the blink?
Yeah, you definitely can.
With 1,000 gold.
Just 1,100 yen. Fuck you.
And actually has Maelstrom queued up. I guess one of the reasons is that she wants to go through DK's Dragon Blood because it's magical damage and he has a lot of natural armor and kind of deals damage to all these creeps from Beastmaster and Chen.
TA refraction as well to some...
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Burns to back.
How that works out. Solo has been scouted. And Aurora into Illuminate again. Very quick securing of the kill. TPs from VP coming through to the mid lane, but Pasha scouted. PPD runs. Get in front with the Queen of Pain illusion just yet. The body blocks will start to come out as Lifestealer pops his head through to try and kill off some of these lovely little creeps as well. So PPD loses his entire army, but top lane, the tier 2 is also dropping. You're mentioning this kind of tower control, the pressure coming in from Optic. Zai, though, has been picked off here, it looks like, with another punch from no one. They'll secure the kill, the turn back onto Naga, though. No song, no setup, and Pasha has to do this the old-fashioned way. Look at CCNC's positioning, still looking for a potential swing, but we'll go for the TP now. Realizing his TP is fully out, doesn't need to go around any longer.
Weepy is in a bad spot right now. They have Nyx, who's far away from Relic, 500 gold. Even when finishes that Radiance, they might lose all tier 2 towers and the Roche, and at that point it's gonna be super hard for them. Also, Queen of Pain has no items whatsoever. That's just burns and spreads. Feels so weird.
Yeah.
With the Link Sphere, she can play more aggressive. Already mentioned, they have Chakra Magic, which rid of, and these two master Roar and Dragon. Only way she died.
He's trying to toy with the DK in mid lane, throwing glimpses, thunder strikes in for the shots, but Highcat does not care. Still very healthy. Towards his BKB. See, Deso very nearly done, getting recalled over towards the Keeper of the Light. Get that farm, get those creeps, get that gold, CNC. Happily take.
I'm not an expert, but I think you're missing his name.
CCNC?
Yeah.
CNC? TNT?
TND?
TND? I'll just make it up as I go along.
Alright, then now that's enough.
What about no one?
Consequence.
What about him?
Noon.
Noon. Chinese name, Noon. I love how Chinese names
like a
have
Christian
meaning.
name?
No, they have meaning inside. Behind numbers, every letter has a meaning. Jack, I miss you.
Some kind of...
I miss Chinese memes. Chinese memes
They are
are
deep.
complete European.
European memes,
NA,
like the pinnacle of our memes have like maybe 4 or 5 layers.
Yeah, but
you know?
this is
Chinese memes have like 100 layers.
corrosive skin. He has like 10 layers. Visage layers, let's call them.
Radiant's bottom
Ramses,
tower is
Relic
under
done,
attack.
Radiance coming. Disruptor. Warding down towards the bottom lane. No one's coming to defend the tier 1. VP should be able to get this one done. Optic all move towards that top part of the map, securing the area around Roshan, you know, very important for them with that. Yes, so
Radiant's
done.
bottom tower
Clear
is
through
under
the Roshan,
attack.
get the Aegis pretty quickly. Also, relatively important for the TA to have that. There will be Pycat moving into the pit. Arcane Rune for 3-3. Immediately there, still holding onto the Roar as they see Solo there, and they also see the TP from Roger. They've got full vision. They're now going to see the Lifestealer coming in, but it's going to be the Roar coming through the Song now to try and turn it back. Illuminate will not land. The Storm after the Song onto the TA. This is a good play. Templar Assassin brought down immediately. 33 will follow immediately after the buyback from CCNC comes out as well. Highcat still battling in the middle of 5 here for Virtus.pro. 4 step forward, right click down, and there's the Maelstrom prop going to work. Virtus.pro chasing forward, PPD in all sorts of trouble as CCNC flies back to farm jungle. Can't even get into the fight. The shrine is big, but the kills are bigger. Virtus.pro now full control over Roshan. Over the rest of the map. It's 3 from Optic Gaming, just dead to rights.
Yeah, this Radiance and Lifestealer burned through the refraction, missed chance for TA and DK. DK, Beastmaster went for Disruptor. If he could have ulted Naga Siren, I think that that fight would have been... Naga just...
Radiant's middle tower.
Almost the TA came out. Everything got very messy from there. But the buyback from CCNC, is that a big deal? He loses a bit of gold?
He loses gold. It was justified, the buyback. They wanted to take a fight still. And it's always good to buy back if the Roches open up with heroes like TA. But they're still gonna go for it. They know the song is down, so they can take a fight.
Looks like Virtus.pro have a good idea of what's happening again. Ramses will lead the charge with the Medallion Radiance. Take down the Skull Hellbear Smasher. 6 HP, but into the pit they go. Static Storm catches onto 2. DK and Beastmaster inside that kinetic field, and down goes the Beastmaster. 33's gone. CCNC needs to get out of here. Refraction of Meld, they're both up. It goes back into the pit with the Pretty Pain jumping forward. No one. Blinding lit outside of the pit. Roshan nearly dead, but the bash. Goal! Solo gets the kill. CCNC does a dieback technically for him as the Aegis taken by no one, but killed by the Radiant.
This was so messy. Again, they didn't have a sleep on Naga Siren, but they were way too deep into Roche pit. Again, I'm not sure if Chen was not near the sandbag came late.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Sure.
This Radiance is doing gods.
Radiant structures
and the TA.
It really is an amazing item, you know, before their BKBs come up, which is still quite some time. It allows Lifestealer to farm, but it has been very good from Ramses to catch up from the laning stage he had.
Well, that's Ramses. A lot of the time he gets pressured in the lane, but manages to come back. Once he finishes the Polar Crest or burst damage, I don't see them actually.
Optic, you feel maybe they've tried to overplay things a little bit here, force the issue a little too much into the Disruptor and the Naga Siren.
Yeah, if they caught the Naga Siren, this game could have a different approach right now.
Technically playing from behind, 13-18, 2k net worth lead for Virtus.pro as they've swung this one very nicely around from what looks like a 6,500, 6,000.
Oh, that graph looks so
lead.
good.
It really does.
Bro.
And experience-wise, even better, heading down towards that 7,500 mark. BCNC, the quick blink Deso now looks average. Chen, Medallion only, look to potentially smoke up again. Dire scanning in the right area though, knowing that the ancient farming is something that Optic will look for. But there's a full Hurricane Pike now for the Enchantress, closing in on level 20, where she'll start picking up Ancients potentially here on this VP side. Naga has the full Meteor Hammer. Solo, you know, he's got 1,000 gold saved up. That's pretty much a perfect game from him. Ramses quickly moving into his next items. He's got that press done. Virtus.pro moving as this unit now. They'll know that there's a couple down towards bottom, as they'll show on the wave in a second. Might be a full swing from top to bottom though here, as they do start recalling people in.
Yeah, they're Optic will need to just try to avoid fights until they get the BKBs on those 2 cores. TA needs it badly, so does DK against the mischance from the Radiance and the Solo Crest. It's pretty impossible to actually hit them.
All of a sudden.
Yeah, Pain with Aegis as well. They should just dodge right enough and they can win a fight at this point, so they will probably need to give up on those tier 2 towers on mid and top.
Radiant's top tower
playing a tight rope walk game there. TP's down to bottom, scouted by the Hawk, but no jump.
It feels so weird. It says Hawk, but it's actually an...
Yeah. That is a bit... But it's also like the boar. I mean, this one's a boar, right? But there's animations where it's like a dog or a whatever.
It's not
else.
a dog, it's actually a boar.
This one's actually a dog. This one's actually a boar, yeah. I think this is the only boar cosmetic for the boar. Because there's the other one that looks like a slug, right? There's like a slug boar for the Beast Smasher that has 2 legs.
More net. Jerry. What? Jerry.
All of a sudden, my name's Jerry.
Shut up, Jerry.
Do you watch Parks and Rec?
No, what is it?
Parks and Recreation. It's an American TV show. It's kind of like in the style of The Office. You know, it's like
I love Office.
It's like an Office, but like a different Office. And there's a character in that whose name I can't remember. I think his name is Gary, but they call him Jerry because they don't know his real name. And then every season they change his name to like Jerry or Gerald or Gareth or some other. You're doing the same thing to me. I'm getting memed by Lacoste real hard.
T-Bone. From now on, you're gonna address me T-Bone.
No. No.
Don't you remember that Seinfeld episode?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Full meter hammer on Naga Siren, plus mana boots as well. So the combo that they have, they still didn't pull it off because meter hammer. It's hard to do it without.
But this is their timing. It's honestly so interesting to see how VP have gone from being sort of average in that first 15, 16 minutes of the game. All of a sudden, top 3 net worth, their 3 core heroes. No one now with Lincolns moving very quickly into the Shiver's Guard. Optic, they have been able to kind of fall back on a split push game, which was a pretty obvious option for them when they open up their draft with a Costal Beastmaster. They have that global power to be able to shove out these waves and force VP back, try and defend the side lanes. Be very careful to not get caught out in a big 5v5 fight unless they have vision over their opponent's Optic. Right now, they're the ones being hunted, it feels like. PPD and Pika down in this bottom side of the map, in the Radiant jungle. They are being chased down. If they can get vision of the DK or the Chen, they're hiding in the trees and they barely escape. Really nice placement there of the heroes. Little hidey holes to get away.
It's always a problem with these lineups that you need to have right momentum. Like with this semi-push, this is like all-in push, but they still have a decent late game potential, but it falls off. So if you don't hit the right timing, then you're in a really bad position. Like that's a full Shiva's Guard on Queen of Pain. Aegis is gone. Nikes with the Yasha building SNY, both tankiness and move speed. They don't have enough work.
Definitely doesn't feel like they do. Especially with MKBs being so far away.
The only way for Optic to win this fight is with the good sandbags and recall. They have 2 DKBs now. That's gonna help a lot. Also, EA has the Bloodthorn queued up nowhere near it, but still it's gonna be the best item she can get all this business. They have a good kiting capability with the Blinding Light, Sandbag, Force Staff on Coddle.
Again, it's going to be one of those things where they need to set up these fights, right? Get vision of the Naga, try and blow up Roger, because they can. He's holding the gem, he holds the song, and that Meteor Hammer, which all sets up so beautifully here for Solo and the rest of the team. He continues this split push out. Bought himself a full Vlad's here, so not going for the Necro 3, no Blink, no Shadow Blade, no...
Nah, he's just going like all the semi-pushy cutter items.
Shove.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is shove. Ramses, open wounds moving in. 3-3 doesn't have a TP scroll, so with the send back, Chen will save his life. PPD just offset there.
Yeah, they have really good split pushing capabilities as well on Optic, so they should use that with the Chen sending back, recall, retraction plus a blink from PA. It's hard to take that.
But look how quickly VP moved. They knew this was coming even before it happened. They TP'd no one up here to try and pressure the DK. Now with the Song of the Siren, Roger, well, he's being focused down. The BKBs of CCNC and Pikecat working out wonders with this big splash damage coming in. Maybe they can fight, but it is Ramses absolutely ripping apart the DK with a Sonic Wave there. No one will blink back out and away. And TA has been left to her own devices. Zai can try, but I don't think there's a way out of this for CCNC as she's chased down. TA could maybe go for a meld play here. Reveal, though, the gem is available for the Queen of Pain. Dragged back into the field, and down she goes. Optic Gaming, they got Mind Red there. Virtus.pro, they rotated people in as Zai was recalling, as they were shifting up towards the top. VP knew As soon as that play happens bottom lane with a send back, there's going to be a play top lane, and they were prepared.
They used everything they had on Naga. Their BKBs dropped to 3 seconds, and after that, when Radiance kick in, plus they don't have an answer for it. They have a gem as well, so they can see Templar Assassin, and they're gonna devour everything. Roche is gonna be up pretty soon. Be up in seconds. PPD, they found him. Do they have anything stunned? Long channeling time on that Meme Hammer.
Fortunately. That is one thing they lack. It's guaranteed disabled. Pasha. Look at that. Full Mjolnir. Ridiculous. Level 20 went for the 100 untouchable slow.
Yeah.
Over the Ancient. And I guess against
no
right
point. No point because Chen is a classic position 5. If they had Chen before, he would have Aghanim, so it could be viable then.
No one. Scouting out Zai here, but he gets the Lincoln's pop. Raw will come out. Static Storm's good, but CCNC. I keep missing that C now because of you. I hate it, absolutely. Solo Ghost Scepters up. Will try to run away, but CCNC will catch with the Melt Strike, and there we have it.
Please do see your mistake.
Nice, thank you. Now, though, Roger, he's in here with a 2-man Meteor Hammer. Now splits out with the Illusions, 3-3. Spotted bottom with the DK blink forward. There with the Shadow Blade does actually get in on top of the Naga Siren, but the missed chance, he doesn't get the hits in. Pycat chase down now as PPD ripped apart up to the north. Snapback will be able to hold the Lifestealer at bay, and there's the Invis with the recall, getting DK back to safety. But again, Optic, they set themselves up for a good-looking fight, but Virtus.pro's snappy reactions, they always seem ready.
Yeah, Queen of Pain had to buy back there. She picked up DD, Roche is up. I'm not sure if they want to take this fight out of Optic. Everyone is alive besides Chen, but they don't have DK4. 20 seconds. Not going to be ready for a fight. So Queen of Pain is going to get the Aegis. They lost to Gem though. Gem on Beastmaster, right?
Oh, it is. 33, Catapult moves in. BKB from CCNC very early there, but Roshan already dead. Solo playing forward, looking for a potential glimpse as no one blinks forward. Zai
is under attack.
Bit back into the jungle with that wonderful movement speed, and the 4 staff to go, still being cut across here by no one, clearing the wave. Zai sent back. Chen, fortunately. Again, the side lane split push. Optic, they're doing a reasonably good job kind of drawing VP back, making sure that every move VP make going forward, they have to kind of take a step back, address these waves coming in towards their base. Slowed down just a little bit, so it buys time for this Bloodthorn, buys time for the DK to get in towards his Silver Edge, which is going to be reasonably good here up against Enchantress. Lifestealer. It feels like a losing battle at this moment.
They should just continue to split push with their heroes. He's going to lose a gem. No send back, no recall this time.
Right. Gem reclaimed. They've also found CCNC over here on the sidelines. Sentry on the floor means the TA is also dead.
Yeah, that's the anti-Tinker Ward really paying off. When they have these kind of split pushing lineups, this ward always helps. They even place the sentry so they can de-ward if they place it.
Zai. Staffing away. Ramses again. So very aggressively here. We'll get hit by the blinding light, so 250 mana there, but glimpse very quickly in onto Zai, trapped in the kinetic field, and oh yeah, oh nom. Ramsey says thank you very much. No buyback on your Cottle, no buyback on your TA. Don't mind if I go and hit your tier 3s then. In on top of the ramp they go, Solo, Roger, and Ramses. Now no one joins into the battle as well. They've got the Meteor Hammer ready to try and take down this tier 3 if they need it, but I guess with the right clicks from Enchantress, Lifestealer, and Top, they don't really need it just yet. Hold it for that song play. They've got all the ultis they need, and in fact, they're going to go for tier 4s here, Lacoste. They're going to try and close this one out. VP feeling very strong, 33 minutes in, trying to end this game relatively quickly.
Yeah, I don't see Optic actually winning this fight. You're stuck in your own base with a chance you're playing with the -1 hero. They have Coddle, who's dead for 26 seconds. They still have enough time to actually kill him and take strong. DK already popped the form.
EA is alive now. CCNC trying to splash back through the creeps with the side blades, but 33 gets the roar off just before dying. They will try and munch him down, and no one will secure it. But here comes the song. Trap out the TA with a BKB, make sure she's the only target available. Static Storm onto the chain means that the DK is left high and dry, all alone. Pikecat will fall, and so will PPD. Chased with the inhibitor shots down into the fountain, dragged back into the waiting arms of Ramses, and surely, even through these buybacks, this will be game. Roger gets taken down, but Zai, Pikecat, and PPD cannot defend the throne, so it is over. But Pro come back in a wonderful fashion to take that best of one off of Optic. But Optic had such a great start, Lacoste.
Yeah, they were building into these small items, drums. Everyone had the 4 staff. Beastmaster had a really complete free farm in the lane. They wanted to close this game early on, but
very little. But Ice normally gets more out of his lane than, I wouldn't say most others, but he always seems to have a good time in his lane with the Timber Saw.
Ice for me was like he was the model Timber.
Yeah.
Like that's I think when I really wanted to play Timber's like my second favorite hero. I just watched like 10 Ice replays in a row, figure out what he was doing differently.
What did you come up with after the 10 replays?
He was pretty ahead of the game with the skill build when he just like maxes reactive armor, which at the time like it's so common now, but back then it wasn't as common. So he wanted to be a little bit more offensive.
What do you actually think with this game? Like the panel was talking about like what happens if you match up the Timber against the DK, and is this the way you do it? Are you happy to do that on the top lane? Do you want to push Moon around and get him away from that Templar Assassin?
Yeah, I think at the same time
the battle begins.
In the past, the Puck versus TA matchup was it was okay for Puck, because what Puck does, Toby, is he shoves in the wave, and Tia can't do anything about it, and then you just get right-clicked under the tower. It's not as easy as people think. Like, the CSing is whatever. When it comes to the Timber versus DK, though, that's also not as bad, because Dragon Knight has such a high amount of regen with the Dragon's Blood that it's not as easy for Timber to just shove him out.
So what, it just becomes more of a trade-off, especially like you're not going to be running any kind of consumables up to that DK, so he can start spamming out his Breathe Fire, because at least he'll have that against the Timber.
This is like these are both like nice skill matchups to watch. Especially this mid one.
Pimp will have to make the choice as our observer. Mid lane's gonna be a little bit harder for Ninja Boogie to harass already because he's got the sentry ward down from complexity. So Limp does have that level of protection, even though they did miss the observer ward a little bit further to the east.
Ooh. Taking a lot of damage from the Whirling Death.
This will only hurt for the first level, right? Like, once he gets 3 and gets the 2 points up.
It's gonna suck for a while. Not gonna be real here. But once you get like Soul Ring, it's not that bad. Side of move.
Think so.
Well, they still need to get some level of CS out of this right now. He's 1-0 versus the 4-0, so Ice is all over him. Carl's having a hard time on bottom lane with jabs. Like, they gotta be careful about this bottom lane, but you don't even have the extra stun yet. Like VS went for the first point up in Aura. It's all about the farm, it's all about the lane pressure for Mineski's safe lane.
You see, by the way, the Puck, he's doing just fine in CS. There was a point I made about Mineski, like why I thought they were very successful and why I thought they fell off. And when they were very successful, it felt like they had this core rotation of heroes for Moon. Like they didn't change his hero pool at all, if that makes sense. Like they would move everyone else around. Ice plays like
Kyle. 1 point of Maldig is enough to ensure he's going to tick out. Jabs will get the kill from that.
Very nicely done, but the entire point is like you can move those 2 heroes around. Like Bushi can be very flexible. Ice can be very flexible, but you need one player on your team to like have an assortment of heroes that he's very comfortable with. And for Moon, if you think about the heroes like that he's very good at, it's Puck, Mirana, like those are the 2, when they were dominating that he was playing all the time. It's like you gotta give your mid player what he's very comfortable at, and they're doing it again.
Yeah, shards up. Mushi trying to cut his way through the tree lines. Hard time when he gets picked up and thrown back in, but the paralyzing cask. Mushi needs some space, but won't get enough. Chessie with those Lycan claws are able to reach just far enough to get the kill onto the safe laner of Mineski.
Double mango plus his base HP regen with Barrel Impulse gives him like 6 a second. That's absurd.
Ice is still having a lot of fun up on this top lane. Yeah, while the CS looks even for now, he's still got a decent creep wave to still mop up. And Moo's quite happy to give him 2 whirling death hits onto him, making life a little bit more difficult as Ninja Boogie will rotate in as well. He doesn't really have a lot to work with. Like, he's level 2, but that small slow coming in from both the Janata as well as the Orb of Venom. Yeah, that's not enough. You stick charges.
It's okay. He's CSing just fine. 3-4 creeps behind. It's not that bad. And this Puck matchup is winning against the TA. These are matchups that you don't typically think of as winning matchups, but the more experience you get with them, Toby, it becomes better. Like, at the higher levels, it evens out a lot more than at the low.
I actually thought the movement from Z-Freak early on was going to be a little bit more useful just because the vision advantage for complexity, but you're right, even with the influence from the supports, the lane matchup is nice and even. The only place the kill's been happening is down that bottom lane. But the top lane's going to be... It's going to come into play sometime soon. Ice is still enjoying his farm. So as always, having a good time in the laning phase, but it's what they do with it. And maybe that's where our mind should actually start looking towards. Like, do we just keep our eyes on this bottom lane, and when does the balance start to shift? Like, do you look for either side, Complexity or Mineski, to move their cores out the middle of the top?
I think the Puck is the most liable to move. It's going to be how Moon decides to move his hero around. That matters the most. This mid matchup, though, is so interesting for me. But hold that down as the bottom.
Shards into the telekinesis gram. Snowballs coming in too. Mushi not high on health as he tries to run away. The rest of Complexity can't get there. The paralyzing cast practically ravaging Complexity on the bottom lane. And the Maledict hit on practically all of them too.
That felt like the most fortunate amount of casting.
Ends up with Z-Freak dying and Jabs finding the kill, so Mineski will be happy with this. This aggressive maneuver from Complexity not paying off. Even though Kyle as well as Z-Freak have been doing a good job, these brothers making sure that Mineski can't just easily pull and change the equilibrium of that bot lane.
Things are still relatively even-ish. Mineski's doing fine. I think they're okay with how the laning phase is going. I think they hoped maybe that this top lane would be a little bit more one-sided, but
as neck and neck that top lane.
The Venge, even with her death, is tops of the net worth, or the CS. So hasn't even suffered too much. The early laning phase doesn't feel like it matters as much.
Again on Mushi. Shards this time won't block him in. They needed that to happen for Z-Freak to reach his telekinesis grab.
Really difficult now to go aggro against the Venge. This is the upside of having Venge as a core, is that she's very tanky. Like, good stats all around. She's level 5 now, higher level than anybody on the side of Complexities. Finally.
Does Ninja Boogie get back in time for a courier snipe? Everyone prepare yourself for some rare drops.
He's...
Oh, no! 5 HP on the courier. 5 HP on the courier. Barely survives, and he just put down that fresh observe ward so we can see it. Ice is now flexing his, well, his shell towards Mu.
15 reactive.
Dyer's
Thinking muscle, but really, Timbersaw does not look like he's got... He skips arm day.
He's jacked, dude. You
jacked?
just can't see it under the suit yet. All natty, bro.
So that's his secret. You got to give him better clothes to showcase the guns. Bottom lane, Complexity moving through the tree line once more. They're trying to wrap around the back of Mushi.
Dyer's top tower
And with the aggressive observer ward down by Kyle, they notice that no one's actually in the lane. It's jabbed off to the left. But maybe Mushi finds his own target as Mu up on top. Okay, the Wave of Terror is going to miss. They're bouncing back out again. Maybe Z-Freak won't be so lucky. Caught in the trees with a Maledict. They'll save him with a snowball and goes back to the catapult. But in comes Moon. The perfect time to arrive. He'll find that kill. Mu out of banner up on the top for 2. So no kill up there. But Complexity's gank not really working the way they thought it would.
Yeah, this is what we talked about, right? If anybody was going to make a rotation, like, what is the TA going to do? She can't kill the Timbersaw. Bottom lane is too much of a commitment for her. And this is the downside of Complexity's lineup, is that it's not easy for anybody to really move around. Gank. Like, their cores are going to be very stable in that sense. Like, they're just going to sit in the lanes and try to recover whatever they can. They don't have the option like Mineski does. Because Mineski has 2 very, very active heroes, the Puck and the Bounty Hunter. Even Ice has the option to rotate in, and that's why we see in this mid lane, it's going to be Move that makes the first
They're
rotation.
coming down for jabs right now. Paralyzing Cast going to isolate Kyle, but no, bounced up to the Ancients, so he'll just snowball himself forward. Doesn't really find the target. It's already
getting
dead,
low though.
but there's TA so low on life. The Maldic Pop still got one more hit. Will it be enough on it? And it will be. Jabs will find the tick out as Ice now chasing down Moo. Wherever you go, he'll go too. No, unfortunately, can't go there. TP back out to the shrine inside the dire jungle to safety. The TA for a Witch Doctor, not the fight they were looking for.
Did you see the timing, by the way? He was half a second away from getting Refraction, and he would have lived right there. But very nice counter rotation from Mineski. And this is the benefit of their lineup, is that they can just chill, allow Complexity to make these moves, and they just passive-aggressive react. Because you have all these heroes that can come in after.
This should be a solo kill right now. Ice is being initiated on. They've got no Timber Chain points. So he's staying inside the shards, but it's Z-Freak moving underneath the invisible moon. Who still decided not to attack.
Zero chance they kill him.
I thought for a moment winning both Dreamcall, level 4 Orb, and the 1 point up in Rift may have been enough to kill Rubik. He decided not to. He held it. Complexity have already backed off now in the bot lane. Chasey's gone jungle. Kyle as well as Lim. This is when supports get your money. I'm not exactly certain who, where's those icons over the top of the creeps? To let us know who gets the extra gold. I'm seeing Kyle getting some extra points, so I'm assuming he did the ancient stack.
I am 99% certain that place the sentry in anticipation for the bounty hunter, but Ninja Boogie then just switches to the other angle.
There's still another sentry there, so they can see him.
Yeah, but without a dust, this is a very hard kill. Both the supports are so slowed down right now.
As Ice having more fun with Moo on the top. 2 points now up in Timber Chain as Moo just Dragon Tail stuns him to just keep him at bay. Whoa! That
close.
Damage can be fast without that extra Dragon Tail stun time. He may have been in trouble. But he rotates bottom, so Complexity, what now? Turn this into a tier 1 tower push?
They want to, and this is the downside of Complexity as a group, is that they feel so forced. All these mints, when they feel forced, that's when Complexity feels the worst to me. And they make this rotation bottom because it's the only play that they realistically have. It's too hard for them to take mid because Puck can just keep spamming out the waves. But nobody's really leveled. Everybody on the side of Mineski is not being hampered by this rotation whatsoever, as in mid lane, this is the play.
Oh, the TP! No, doesn't make it out in time, went for the phase shift, just tried to dodge the stun. But Moon can't get out from underneath that tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, on the bottom, paralyzing cast, Chessie has triggered off dog form, but Ninja Boogie's arriving, so is Ice. They want their target, it's going to be the Dragon Knight. Swap back into the fight, and Moo will go down. So Puck for the DK. Chessie's ultimate also being burnt. And the tier 1 tower remains alive.
Did you say dog form?
Yeah, dog form.
Dude, why wouldn't you say wolf form? It's the same amount of syllables. There's no difference. You didn't even save any time.
There's no logic in what I say. I just prefer a doggy. And you can blame a Tubberman for that one because he always called it the dog strat.
Yeah.
So that's where my brain goes with it.
Yeah, but he's got dogs. But he himself, Toby, he's a wolf.
He's the alpha dog.
Yes. No, he's a wolf.
Alpha wolf. Is Lycan technically a wolf? Or is he just...
He's like a hybrid thing, you know? Why are we having this discussion?
Hey, well, would you prefer to actually ask the question, is Tuskar a walrus? But, that either. Moving on. Ice, and that pressure on bottom lane. Z-Freak's attempting the defense. And we're only 12 minutes into a cast with Blitz, and after my time off, and already he's in trouble. Timber Chain stolen by Z-Freak. Moo can't go anywhere. Again, this Dream Call will just hold him in position. No way for this DK to survive as Mineski, as 5 dive underneath the tier 2 tower. Moon wants to come back to defend the mid.
Look at that. That's so good by Moon. He instantly TPs to mid because he understands that they have to make this play, but where's the backup?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming a little bit late. Ice is coming over. Kyle, he's buffed up or debuffed with the Veil. He'll run away to safety out to the east.
I really like that move by Moon. Like, it's risky, but he takes aggro off the tower because they understand they have to keep this tower alive. It's how Lycan thrives. Like, if you take this tier 1 bottom and you take this tier 1 mid, then Lycan gets a free game into the jungle, and it allows the supports on Complexity to catch up. But by denying that, it makes it so the Lycan has to continue to participate in these awkward-ass engagements. Like, Chessie doesn't want to play like this.
He wants to relax, he wants to finish up that Necro book.
Yeah. He's level 7 at 13 minutes. This is not the type of game that you envision as a Lycan, and it's because they haven't been able to take these tier 1 towers that are so crucial.
Well, they've always been holding hands on the bottom lane. Ice with his level 11 is very happy to jump down to Chessie. If only he can get past the shield of Complexity players. And he cannot do it, so Chessie will finally claim that tier 1 tower. It's the first tier 1 tower for 13 minutes for Complexity to grab it.
You notice, by the way, what Ice does is that even though he is very tanky, he doesn't risk that. Because a lot of people get this thing where Kuro used to call it like strongman syndrome, where you're playing a Timbersaw or a hero like him, and you think like, I'm unkillable, because you've survived 1 or 2 instances.
Yep.
But in Dota, Toby, you can get 1-on-5 and go down, and you're going to throw away that large-ass net worth that you built up. He has the highest net worth in the game. If he risks going in 1v5 and dying, it is worth it for Complexity to commit that many heroes.
We want to start the ancient stack farm now. Bounty Hunter in trouble. It's a full smoke trap
everyone's
around
getting blown up.
Complexity, but the paralyzing cast making life difficult to move in, and here comes Ice, but it's already too late. 3 heroes down for Mineski and Complexity. Maybe now they can take this town, but they have to push through both Mushi and Ice.
This is a very nice TP. He didn't go back to base, he immediately TP'd mid instead. But sloppy engagement from Mineski. Like, Complexity, that's what I mean. You have strength in numbers, you can win those engagements. And they were also very surprised by this TA blink. Limp has had a lot of stacks to work with. He is not underfarmed. You have to respect this hero right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You also just expect that blink to come out first as opposed to just rushing up like higher damage dealing items.
Like the Deso?
Yeah, something like a Deso before. Like, what's more common at the moment?
So I asked a lot of TA players, and one of the better ones that I know is CCNC, and I said, like, when do you go the Deso versus the Blink? And he says, I almost always go the Blink. When you get the Blink on TA, it feels as though you're invincible. It's very hard to die on this hero. Question though, because I literally had the same thought. I was like, because sometimes I see players get the Deso, and I was like,
I think it was CCNC in the game early today. He went for the Deso early, but they were looking for Roshan.
yeah, if you go for the early Rosh, I think it is impactful. Like, if you can get a 12-minute Deso, you can walk in a Roshan. But it was he himself that told me that Blink just feels a whole lot better. Can get away with it.
As long as you don't fall to the strongman syndrome. Ice is adding a lot of pressure on the bottom lane against Chessie. Kyle's looking at this, understanding he can do nothing.
And look at this, like, he doesn't force anything. Like, he immediately TP's back. A lot of players.
Trees, Green Piece has his issues.
The rain or
actually, he's cutting almost perfectly through, so he's still okay, no, never mind. Like, large amount of trees dead.
He hit the environment too.
You need to have that, what was that quest we had back in the Battle Pass? How many trees were killed today?
Oh, the worst.
With the Timber Source, who would just TP back to base and take it all. Z-Freak, he is tracked up, but thanks to the track marker, he's already retreated back to the tier 3 tower away from the nest. While Complexity add their pressure in towards mid. There's Dream Call over on 2. Quick phase shift, and here comes a jump forward. Ice. He wants this Dream Call to snap. Hasn't happened yet. That VS combination just not dead yet. Said Jab's actually having trouble with the Limp. Doesn't get that last attack off with the Baldic. He's a little bit concerned with the refraction charges going down. Ice. Chains in deeper, looking for Z-Freak. A pick up and throw away. Z-Freak feels safe. Complexity once again being denied that mid-tier 1 tower.
That's what I said, right? They're going to go for this mid tower right after. They take the bottom one. This is how they're going to create space for the Lycan. But this has long been the knock, Toby, on Complexity, is that they become a little bit predictable against. If you've seen one Complexity game, it feels like you've seen a lot of Complexity game.
Isn't that that weird thing? Like, if you look back at the days with the original Epicenter, like Complexity were all about draft something crazy, unusual that's just going to give us this buff up, and we can win that way. But when we saw this draft today, I was almost just like, this is just really consistent, solid play, confidence in themselves to execute the draft.
Yeah.
But counter predictable.
But at the same time, like Mineski,
oh boy,
how do you win a fight?
That's a lot of damage on Z-Freak.
Bushi bodied him.
Yeah. 4 hits on the Magic Missile stun as well, and he came out with Mask of Madness and out of the Shadow Blade too.
He deals a lot of damage. That's hard to hit. You are not surviving it. Downside of playing Rubik as a 4 position. A lot of these 4s have these natural escapes. but the burst damage is there.
Moose revealing himself so much. They're going to come underneath the TA traps, but thanks to this smoke, Maneski actually hunting the Templar Assassin. The DK is obviously a harder one to get, so go for Limp instead. Is there a swap timing? Limp already used his blink, so here comes the magic missile. Meld is available, but then again, tracked up, nowhere to really hide. Paralyzing Cask and the Maledict and the Death Ward. They don't want to take any risk of being close to these tier 3 towers. But with the TA trap, still not enough time for Moo to get there. He would have come underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. So TA down, no buyback for 40 seconds.
He's not going to need it though. Such an early point in the game. The downside though, or the upside I guess, of playing with the Timbersaw versus playing against the Timbersaw is that normally when that move gets made onto the TA at top, you have some kind of rebuttal. You would go kill whoever's doing this to you at bottom.
You're gonna kill Ice.
Yeah, it's like, as long as he's somewhat careful at this point, he's golden. And now Complexity have to ride this out, because there's no way that I think they can take a straight up fight. They've got to jump somebody and take a 4-on-5. It's way too hard right now.
You unpredictable. Ice is predictable doing this type of stuff. He'd always do it with his Broodmothers and his Timbersaws. Add the pressure on the lane where the other 4 are not fighting.
Soak up a lot of this attention. That's how they were able to take the mid tower originally. It's just a nice play from this.
He always gets so much experience and gold from it too. Like he's walking around with BTs and a Bloodstone, so Ice understands the pressure he wants to apply across the map. And then going to go into a Shiva's Guard. Be even more unkillable, because it's not like 30, he's walking around with 36 armor currently. With the 20 reactive armor charges buffed up. There's Dreamcore, catch on the Templar Assassin. They have enough into the backlines. The DK, good damage onto Jazz, the Paralyzing Cask. It comes out. It's 2 down right now for Maneski as Moo looks for more, but Ice looks for him. The Chakrams slowing him down. The Maledict pops just too much damage, but the damage is also nice and high out from Chelsea using these Necro books to work as Ice plays the Cliff game. They actually steal the Timber Chain. You've lost your Shard, and Ice still wants more. But he won't find it. 3 heroes lost from Maneski, but 2 big cores down for Complexity.
A nice moves by Ice. Sometimes though, this is the downside of Timbersaw, is that you're the last one alive. You don't have this lockdown and everyone just runs circles around you and pokes you. But very nice plays overall by Complexity to make that sort of even. Took that fight very nicely. They isolated the supports first. And the Necro 3, this is a very reasonable timing from Jesse. He's done a very good job of recovering in this game.
Ice has tried to pressure him to stop it, but he said this is what they were doing before. This is Complexity sacrifice. They needed to get that grab. Now they might get a grab onto Ice. Z-Freak holds him in position. You can probably Timber Chain for the kill secure. No, Limp will claim it.
That is what I mean about this Timbersaw. You think you're invincible.
Yep.
Buddy.
But this is the trade-off.
Yeah.
So you've managed to drag almost every single player from Complexity down to
they
bottom
don't have a
lane.
trap in Roche?
And no, they do not. Maneski are now going to get the scans coming out from Radiant. Ice even going to arrive for this. Do you? Okay, yeah, Mushi's moving the one down.
Way too late.
They're giving it to him. Yeah, they can't reach it in time.
Dire structures are fortified.
So there is still a decent trade-off. The downside is the fact that Timbersaw lost Bloodstone charges. Having that before the gank.
He respawns so fast, but it does give up a lot of XP more than anything. This is a level 18 Timber that you team took down. It wasn't easy, but they did it. Look at the dive XP, even with the Roshan.
Money in for everyone.
Radiant's bottom
Limp.
tower
Now
is
we can
under
work
attack.
towards that BKB of his. But it's going to be a little bit more difficult to dish out that damage to TA. Not like they have an Omni Knight to give them the repel, like the panel was talking about, maybe 5th game.
You got to be more careful though, because Ice.
Boogie, he's underneath the sentry ward. Kyle saw him, starts his back up. And sentry for sentry.
This verifies. If you're Complexity though, you shouldn't win this fight. Not with the Roshana. Or the Aegis actually.
She just left the sentry ward sitting there. Maybe they didn't see it in the nighttime vision.
Dire's middle
But
tower
Mushi
is
starting his
under
attack into the tier 2 tower. Ice is on the bottom while you've got Moo up on top, so we've still got that floating 1 from both sides. Trying to add pressure to the side lanes. There's a quick blink out. Limp happy to take the stun before it gets swapped in by Mushi as Kyle able to dodge out the attack. The Centaur Stomp is perfect. Mushi will go down. Aegis Immortal is triggering as Ice puts himself in harm's way. Mushi can't get out. The charge from Kyle are perfect. And Mushi will fall 2 times. With no real answer to the complexity lineup, Chessie moves forward. He's chasing down Ninjabuki, keeping him out of the play. So now they can turn around. The paralyzing cast with the malediction, working with Ice. Kyle can't run out of this one. He has to stick around. Sharkham's on cooldown right now. And Ice is focusing on Limp, allowing the Puck to wrap up the Tuskar. But does he have much more? Ice wants to keep fighting. You've got the small army from Lycan here behind Chessie to help him out. There's no more stuns available. A quick phase shift. Z-Freak's jumping up, looking for the real Puck. Silence battling underneath the Shrine, needs more mana, needs more life, has none of it. 4 heroes down for complexity. Chessie able to TP away to safety. But the sustain, we thought it was going to come from the complexity lineup, but instead it's Mineski. It's Ice.
And that was a fight that I think they should have been happy with just getting the bench. Like, Mineski very much overextended there, but with complexity, without the Dragon Knight, like, the lockdown simply isn't there. Once the DK and the Tusk went down, there wasn't going to be any more stuns. You have to disengage at that point. It's not easy to kill this Puck or this Timbersaw when you can't lock them down. It works both ways, Toby. And at the end of that thing, they were just able to mop up as much as they wanted. Even though it looks like Moon is in a killable position, he's a Puck. You have 0 stuns against him. He has a very free game. And now he's almost got the Aghanim Scepter as a result of this fight.
Then that BKB is not really going to help you. You're still going to get swapped into stunned.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for, so that Limp, the next time he makes that kind of play, he's stunned forever. As we're going to see right here again.
It's the cast control. Limp and Moo just can't go anywhere.
And you see Limp, he's at half HP, but he feels as though he has to continue to take that fight. Like, maybe somebody on his team was saying, like, we can still win this fight.
Maybe.
It's like, well, you killed the Venge and you took her Aegis. Be happy with that.
Yep.
It's the little things.
Well, they're coming in for another engagement, so a 4-man smoke up by Complexity. Warding mission as well. These are not real Pucks. No smoke break. Another Observe Ward being planted down, so at least they establish vision over the Radiant Jungle if they get nothing more from this. But Complexity, they have to want this tier 1 tower. But at the same time, surprise items coming in. The TPing in Puck has the Aghanim Scepter fully completed. We've actually got multiple ways to trigger on the Dream Core too, because you've got a 4-staff in the hands of the Witch Doctor.
You've got a Shivas too on this Timbersaw, which makes him even tankier. That item is really annoying against the physical damage dealers on the side of Complexity. They almost all have physical damage.
Like Meld and Deso do nothing. Move. Well, he got left behind. The rest of his team is coming over now. The Shark's holding him in, but the Malediction is on him. And here comes Ice with the Sharkrams. Tuskar caught in the middle of it, so say goodbye to your DK and probably your Tuskar as well. The Timber Chain doesn't connect, but it won't matter when Mushi is just throwing out the right clicks. They're trying to get rid of the Necrobooks, protecting jabs as much as possible, and they're able to do so. 2 heroes lost for Complexity, and they all didn't really seem to be on the same page.
No, not at all. That's a fight it's getting increasingly hard to take these fights when all these items are flying in. The Shivas, the Aghanim Scepter, these are items that you have to respect, Toby. These are not minor pickups.
Yep.
These are significant ones. And for Complexity, it feels like they're just not content. That's the best way to put it from my perspective, because if you're content as a team, you take 1 or 2 of these engagements that are positive, but it always feels as though Cole, they pressure themselves into taking the extra step that they don't necessarily have to take. So you take 1 fight, then you're instantly looking for the second one. Yeah, you get this Vengeful Spirit kill and her Aegis, and you think like, we can't just be happy with that. We need more. Yep. And that's always been the story of Complexity. It's like they need more, whereas Mineski, like, they're my dark horse team in this tournament. They were very, very close to beating Liquid in that series at, was it Star Ladder? Like, those were both very winnable games.
I always just look at Mineski and like even when the panel is sitting there and they're all just saying, you know, Complexity lineup is good, Complexity lineup is good. There's just something about the Mineski aggression which just unsettles a lot of teams. And just for that pure reason alone, no, you don't want to cat him out, but then you're buffing him up with the Bounty Hunter. Here we go again. Tuskar snowball up. He'll take the stun. Can't know way to really dodge this one. So Track Gold starts to free flow the way of Mineski. And Complexity, they have to kind of shore this ship somehow, but Ice. Well, right now he's boarding the Complexity boat. Sits underneath the tower, he does not care. Even gets the fortification out without a real creep wave.
Mineski, they're daring them right now. They're saying, we're gonna hit your high ground.
Yep, here comes Olymp. He goes for Moon, but it's the target. It's the reason why you always say like the matchup is a little bit more fun. But that jump in, Chessy, fresh BKB going to work. He's trying to run to the back lines, but they need to get Ice. The timber chain will pull him away to safety. Jabs Ghost Scepter protecting him with the swap out. That will do exactly that. So the BKB is burnt, the Dragon Form is burnt. Maneski can just reset because they've lost practically nothing. Dream calls off cooldown in 3 seconds time, so they're ready for the control factor to arrive. And they go again, the shards forward. Ice, the front line hitter. Gets all the reactive armor charges up from just the creep wave, so Complexity no, like even if Limp hits him with Meld, it does absolutely nothing. You drop him down to low. Okay, he's still at 50 armor.
Yeah, he's just fine. I do like that though. You notice what Maneski's doing? They protect their supports. I hate when teams just abandon their supports. It's just like, well, what can we do for you? Your supports are your stuns. They're your back line as well. They're the ones that are meant to extend the fight for you oftentimes.
Yep.
And you notice that Maneski, they place this premium. Mushi puts himself in harm's way. He has no BKB up. He swaps jabs to get him into a better position. Like that a lot.
Because if that orb did connect, then it would have been very, very problematic.
And when you're ahead like this, Toby, the easiest, if you think about it like this, like the easiest way for a team to come back into games where they're like 10, 15k behind is to kill the supports, because it's easy to do, it's cheap gold. Because of the net worth differential, you'll get a lot of gold for doing so. And so for Maneski to protect their supports at all times, it's just a good sign of a good team.
We're all on the same page.
Yes.
Now Complexity, like, how do you steady the ship? Like, there's bigger items on the way. The Aghanim Scepter is flying out right now to Ice, so we're going to have double the Chakram fun. You've still got Solar Crest, high levels on the Bounty Hunter. You have a Blink Dagger on Z-Freak. I know he's normally the guy I turn to for Complexity, just to make the plays, to change the fights around. But, like, who is the critical thing? Like, what does Complexity focus on when Maneski practically is 5 all time now?
I think you just have to avoid the fights and be comfortable with.
Can you do that with Roshan now being on the platter? They have a TA trap in this time.
Yes. They really needed that the first time around. The fact that Maneski were able to just sneak that.
Complexity smoke's already broken. Moon jumps in. He's looking for the target over on Chessy. Ice is there. The isolation onto Mushi. He gets the BKB off, but into the invis. And away. No, he won't. The Necro has to stay in close. Mushi has to die to Chessy. No, he doesn't see him. The Necro books it and keep up. So Mushi will be able to escape. And Ice is in there to try and capitalize. If he can find the moment. Jabs and stuns. They did most of the work. Move. Snowball protection is there from Carl, but in they come. Mushi keeps the battle going, bringing down the shards, bringing down the heroes. Complexity in way too deep. Lip wants to run away. The blink will allow that to happen, but the rest of Complexity fully tracked up. All 3 players are. So Maneski have the choice. Do they push? They hunt the kills? Do they go for more? They hunt one of the kills down. Lip will die up on the top lane. A little bit early for that, well played Moon, but still, Chessy on the run from Ice. He knows he just has to TP out this one. So do you go high ground now with a very long death timer on the TA, or is it Roshan?
I think you go for the high ground and then you push. If they go for the buyback, then you just go for them.
We're doing tacos, why not both?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
If they have buybacks, like if you're, because obviously on Maneski, you're not entirely sure. If you're one of those teams that are crazy and you constantly ping out the Bounty Hunter track gold, but
you may not care considering DK's Dragon Form's on cooldown. You know the Lycan Form's on cooldown too.
Oh,
and
Chessy.
now they get a Dream Coil out.
Nice combo.
And the snap. Goodbye, Chessy. Lycan's dead for 70 seconds with no buyback. Oh boy.
That could have been their fight. If they killed Mushi, do we have a replay of that? Like, Mushi was so close to dying there.
I'd
Then
love to see
he
it.
goes back, he TPs, I think, to the shrine, heals up, then they all in commit for him again, but the heal from the shrine is a little bit too much. That's like a brutal way to lose that one.
He was the critical one they committed for too, but the Necro units just couldn't keep up with them. Complexity can only see Roshan happening, so they have eyes on this, but Maneski have an Observe Ward up on the hill right in front of the Ancient, so they understand the position of the Tusker. They'll see the rest of them coming in. This Observer Ward's about to pay dividends. They're going to look for the kill, tracks her up. Sentry's down from Z-Freak, but the Observer Ward's too far. It's a little bit more of an obscure ward up to the northwest. Wave of Terror, Roshan, 2.7k. Here comes the Sigil. They found that Observer Ward, so the vision is now gone from Maneski. The time is running out. Roshan, 600, 300. The window is closed. Roshan belongs. to Mineski. Agassi Maul into the hands of Mushi. And the cheese is also in his paws as well.
Now the key for Mineski is don't throw away this lead. Like, be careful when you go for these engagements. Mushi has to relax a little. He had an awkward fight with the last Aegis, but this time around for your play and for complexity, it's try to force Mineski to overextend, continue to push in this bottom lane as often as possible so that Mineski have to continuously go back, because you need to burn this Aegis timer for as low as you can.
It looks like Mineski won't give the chance. They already drew the line to go straight all the way across the top lane, so they'll get rid of the Shrine. So no way for complexity just to TP in behind them in case something does go wrong. And what do you really get as a trade-off here? Limp can potentially take the tier 2 tower on bot.
Limp needs to push this in as far as he can, and the rest of his team needs to already be top. Especially this Rubik and this Dragon Knight. They have to spam out the wave as fast as they can. And you need Limp to be in a position where he can come back as late as possible. He needs to pressure this bottom area even more, because if you get into a position where you just have to get into a high ground fight, it's going to be so awkward, because you can't kill anybody at this point.
Yep. At least Z-Freak's able to slow it down by taking out the creep wave with both Solid Chakram as well as that Fade Ball, but there's a snap. Exactly what they look for. Moo is instantly dead. The buyback comes in. Limp's already burned his BKB, looking for the target, but the jump blind. Jesse down to half life. Not what he was really looking for, but maybe with the spill damage from Moo, they're really clustered here. Mineski, they're trying to retreat, but they're just splitting up the fight. As you said with the 4 stars, how can really Complexity get the upper hand on positioning? They're going back in again. The Death Ward creating space. The double chakrams. Kyle, no way up to safety, gets sliced in 2 as they go in deeper. Mineski, the buybacks here for Complexity. Mushi, the Agassi Model will finally pop. The Bounty Hunter will die in the back line, so one support down. Can they get much more? Limp is battling Jab, so yep, there goes the secondary support. But Ice, the big frontline tank with Moon and Mushi by his side. Keep the pressure on, and Complexity's top racks not only under siege, but in ruins. Z-Freak is trying to slow this up, but Limp's not ready to fight yet. He doesn't have his BKB. He's tracked still in the back lines. They want a good target, but they don't really have one. They go now on towards Moon. Limp held in place just by the Dream Call. They're pulling him down. Limp battling against Moon. He needs more, but the refraction charges. They all get taken out by the Chakram. Complexity, they're losing way too many heroes. The second lane of Rax is totally gone. And the buyback from Limp, all it may do is just slow down Mineski as they'll back out before they push again for the bottom lane.
Took like 7 heroes from Complexity. They finally get the 2 supports from Mineski, but at that point, Mineski are like, no, now we will let them die. It's okay. None of the cores on the side of Mineski are dying.
Oh, it's going to get worse too. That's an Octarine core coming the way of Ice. He's got 26 Bloodstone charges and would still have money for buyback after buying the Octarine.
Is so obscenely farmed.
They're coming for what? Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's just watch this top push again. This is that combination the panel was talking about. This is the reason why VS as well as Puck are the combination heroes for Mineski. Coil, swap, straight up. No way to protect yourself with the Ags upgrade.
My gratitude.
Really not certain what you're supposed to do here as Complexity anymore.
Pray.
Is that... Did my eyes deceive me, or is that 31,000?
That is 31,000. No deceiving. Experience as well is it's a little bit shy of that. So that's 27,000. The 3-man Dream Ball into a straight-up swap. Jesse evaporated. The only thing you see left of him is the fluff from his back. Here comes the paralyzing cask a little bit further forward, and Z-Freak move. They can't go anywhere. Limp's protected by his BKB, but no level of protection will protect Complexity from this. This is GG. Mineski will take the game with, oh boy, Complexity all day.
We were debating if it was a wolf or a dog, but it's a ghost. I appreciate the light chuckle.
I like it. I like it. It's the one scepter they didn't have. But Complexity, that's a rough game. Very solid draft, as the panel was saying. It was very survivable, but why do I keep seeing this every single time with with Ice when he has a Timbersaw? He always gets the space to be that one hero that the panel didn't think could happen. That one guy to actually